Well, I mentioned before we played that tune that we have Snakerattlers in session. They uploaded something to us, I think it must have been about 3 months ago or something. And we have played a couple of their songs, like quite a lot on the programme. I'm really, really into it, so it was an absolute pleasure when they agreed to come in for a session tonight. So turn this up loud because it's something that's going to really pick your ears up. This is Snakerattlers on BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire. Please, take it away.
I've got a feeling something's coming my way. I've got a feeling that I've got a debt to pay. Take me to a place where nobody knows. Open up your mouth and then you say, let the devil in your soul. His love is a feeling that I can't do without. I never understood just what it is all about. Open up your mind and let go of your head. Welcome in a better life instead. Let the devil in your soul. Take control of your mortal life. Live your way until you die. Step over to the other side. There's only one word that is war. Now you can live in the way that they condone. That shouldn't be a problem, enjoying the things you own. Your life is opened up and your mind is set, ready for the challenges ahead. Let the devil in your soul.
Absolutely fantastic on BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire. Snakerattlers. How the devil are you?
All right, mate. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Thank you very much for joining us as well.
Well, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. I think it's the loudest we've ever had it in here as well.
Yes.
I think that was that the mission when you came in, thought I'm going to make it as loud as I can.
Well, I knew we'd have to turn down a bit, especially my amps, but they're on like a quarter of what I normally have, so yeah, it was still pretty loud. Like,
Yeah, when you were warming up earlier, I was in our centre studio and you could hear it vibrating through the walls. So, well done.
yeah, because we're kind of testing the levels a bit. Like, I was like hammering a few notes out, and then we're looking through there to see if like anyone would notice. Like be like,
Turn that
Yeah.
down. Musos, get it down. We're talking about the news in here. You're not... The Snakerattlers, for me, as this incarnation, very new. But you're not new on the old gigging scene, are you, at all? Because doing
No.
your old research and
Especially
stuff.
not
we're haggard old dogs. We are. We've been going edges. Yeah, haggard old sea dogs. That's us.
It's a good name for a band, that.
That's not bad.
Maybe the next EP or something, you could have that as a tune. Well, tell us about how you've come to Snakerattlers. What's been the... I hate this word, but what's been sort of the journey to get here?
Well, we're married, in case anyone doesn't know that. Me and
To do,
Naomi,
because
so,
I announced it on the programme a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Hey, thanks very much.
I mean, we do
Alright.
listen to it every week.
Yeah, of course you do. But you were in a different country, so I let you off.
Oh, not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
But it's available on the iPlayer for 30 days, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Just
Cool.
stop playing. Just stop playing.
Yeah, listen. Anyway, so when we first kind of got together, Naomi was living in London, and we always kind of said, because we're both into music and stuff, it'd be really cool to one day do a two-piece band. So the idea for this band was there a long time ago, but we had to go through various training sessions, you could say, to to get to Snakerattlers. And yeah, we kind of stumbled across the sound really as a way to kind of like be active as a two-piece and do gigs. And it took us a long time to construct the sound, and yeah, but I'm happy with it now. I think we're going in the right direction, I think, like musically.
For people who are listening who are into their like techno sort of stuff regarding guitars and such like, how did you get that sound? Because I overheard you talking to our engineer Martin saying it took you a long time to actually get that guitar sound. What was
my
the
guitar
process
sound,
of doing
yeah,
it?
Well, it's kind of trying to find the sound that suits that particular genre, because it's a genre that we both love, like rockabilly and stuff like that, and we wanted like a really deep sounding guitar, like quite, because there's no bass in the band, obviously just me on guitar, so we wanted a deep sound but then still like a bit of top end twang as well. So the only way to do that is to put it through a guitar and bass amp at the same time,
right.
And then it's using a combination of different pedals to get that kind of surfy kind of sound to it that most rockabilly bands tend to have, and then just kind of putting your own stamp on it with the type of guitar that you tend to use. So
I think the drums though, because I've only got I've got floor tom, snare, and one cymbal, and to kind of give that a deeper tone as well. Like we've got a big found a 18-inch floor tom as well, so it's kind of like a deep,
instead of the standard
like
16,
primally sound, like, so that gives it a bit more depth as well.
Yeah, we saw a band a while ago called Faraday Fireballs. They don't exist anymore, but they were doing a similar thing, like kind of just a really stripped back with floor tom and snare, guitar and stuff. And then we saw that, we were kind of like, yeah, we could do something like that. And then
they were a bit different though.
Yeah, they were a bit different.
We'll be doing that, thank you.
But it's like, yeah,
I'll be having a bit of that sound.
You obviously come up with your own like songs and your own stuff, but you pick up bits along the way, and you kind of like, oh, that sounds good, I like that, and then you make it into your own. So, and I think that's kind of what we've done really. Like we've got quite a unique sound, I think.
No, I agree as well. And as soon as you uploaded something to the BBC Introducing, uploaded, myself and Emily absolutely fell in love with it. We're playing it all the time. And listening to it a lot in my own time as well, not just doing the show. So bang it through it as well. Yeah. One of them. No, but what's it like actually? And I'm conscious that you've just got married. But what's it like actually being in a band with your partner? Is it risky or is it all right?
Do you know what? Like, I know people have always say, "Oh, don't be in a band with your
or
don't start a relationship with someone in the band." Obviously, we were together before we did music stuff, but it works really well because Dan, especially when he was younger, was notorious for forming and breaking up bands because he was so difficult to work with, so strong, opinionated, and to the point where people said, "You know what? I don't have to put up with this." So he's full of passion, but when he's passionate, he wants everything perfect. So this is what I've learnt about him. So I have a unique way of just getting in eye contact with him and just saying, "Stop." Like it's kind of like a dog whisperer, kind of like. Yeah. But we just know from, I don't know. It's kind of it's really cool because we're quite efficient with stuff because we just know what each other like, and we're like when we go to rehearsal, like we book 2 hours. Or sometimes 3 hours, and we've done everything within an hour because we just crack on and do it. And so I don't know. I think for us it works.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's no better feeling than like getting in the van and going off to play a gig with my wife by my side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. Like, and also I don't get told off for it, which is great because I'm not out all the time doing gigs while she's at home. So
that's another thing, isn't it?
Bonus.
I suppose that look that you give sometimes is you will sleep on the sofa. You will.
Well, yeah, we don't have that with this because it's both of us doing it, and we've done our day jobs and then off we go on the weekend.
Yeah.
And bosh, like we're doing the band.
How are the songs crafted then? Is it purely rehearsal or is it home, or do you only divide that time thinking, right, we'll go to rehearsal, we do the music, and when we come home we've got a different sort of hat on, I suppose, or you're always chipping away at it even?
We've always loved the idea of like, oh, we'll have a rehearsal room at home, and when we feel inspired we'll go in the rehearsal room and we'll do. We actually don't do that very often at home, do we?
No.
Because I don't know, like you say, it's really easy to be like in work mode and home mode, and then you're like, I think we kind of quite like the distinction between going to a rehearsal room and knowing that you're there to do that.
When we're doing the songs and stuff, like that's always done in the rehearsal room. Like, but obviously at home you're doing promotion and updating the website and. But then, like,
if Dan comes up with a riff at home, we'll be like, we might do something with it for half an hour, and then we're like, oh, that's a keeper, like we'll keep that when we go to the rehearsal room. So it's not like home's like a music free zone, but it's kind of like the ideas are there, but we don't sit down and do everything at home.
Yeah, that's what the rehearsal room's for. Like we don't tend to jam very much at home. And
also our small 2-bed terrace house, neighbours either side wouldn't be too favourable to it.
Yeah.
So where does the influence come from lyrically then? What sort of stuff were you writing about?
Well, I've with the Francines, which was our previous band before this one, that was kind of just not really about anything. The songs were just about whatever came to my head at the time. In fact, I used to make a lot of the lyrics up on the spot, and just not really think about it. But this, I've kind of tried to go a bit more deeper. It just like to kind of stuff I believe in and things like that, and because I'm writing all the songs here, so, all the kind of the tunes and what have you. So I've tried to do just learn, put more things out about myself, really, and like stuff that I genuinely believe in. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just stuff like that, really. Just kind of trying to draw on my own life experiences and put them into songs. Like, it sounds really like weird saying that, and like sounds a bit pretentious, but it's the truth. Like, that's kind of, trying to come up with lyrics that relate to me. Yeah, because this band's like obviously very personal, with doing it with my wife and stuff like that. So you got to have personal songs, I think.
Do you think your recent trip to America will influence any further tunes? Because we were talking before we came on about the election over there, and you saw what it was like. Do you think that'll sort of come into any sort of...
Well, actually, that's kind of why we chose to do Bad Moon Rising, the cover that...
you weren't supposed to tell them what you're going to do. It's meant to be a secret.
Oh, was it?
It's all right, I know now.
Oh, I've ruined it.
It's all right, keep going.
Yeah, so, we that's why we chose to do that, because we thought it was quite fitting, like, lyrically, with kind of everything that's gone on in 2016, like Trump, Brexit, all the rest of it, because we're in for some uncertain times.
Most certainly. Right, well, I know what you're going to play me as your cover now.
Sorry.
We'll do that in the second half. We'll take a bit of a 10-minute break now, but I want you to play me another one of your own tunes. What are you going to play me, please?
I'm going to play Death Valley Driver. It's an instrumental track.
This is Snakerattlers on BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire. Please, take it away.
BBC Radio York.
Well, I'm delighted to welcome back on the programme Snakerattlers. Are we well still?
Oh, yes.
We enjoying the show so far?
Yeah.
That was very well rehearsed. It's like we almost planned that. Right, now, people listen regularly will know that the band do a cover now, and I normally say, I have no idea what it is.
But I told you.
And you spoiled the surprise. You told me what was in the cupboard already.
Yeah.
So tell me, if people have just tuned in, why you've decided to do Bad Moon Rising.
I've always liked the song since I was younger, and we found that when you change all the chords to minor chords, it gives it a disturbing new edge, and also lyrically, it's kind of quite poignant with everything that's gone on this year.
So I didn't really know what the lyrics were, really, apart from the obvious like, chorus stuff. And then when you actually like look at them, you're like, good God, like.
Yeah, the lyrics are because with everything that's gone on in the world this year, it's we're in for some uncertain times. So there we go.
I've got to say a special thank you as well, because I know from talking to you that you hate doing covers.
Yeah, I hate it.
Despise it. So I appreciate that you've done it for us.
Well, like I said, it was part of the. If it's part of the deal, then we're not going to say no. Like, you know, we've got to do these things if that's what you guys want.
It wasn't necessarily a deal breaker. I was just saying how far I could push it, and you went with it. So, Snakerattlers on BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire. Take it away.
I see a bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. I hear hurricanes are blowing. I know the end is coming soon. I fear rivers overflowing. I hear the voice of rage and ruin. Don't go around tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Hope you got your things together. Hope you are quite prepared to die. Looks like we're in for nasty weather. One eye is taken for a night. Don't go around tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Don't go around tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. There's a bad moon on the rise.
See, I'm glad that I poker faced you there. Because I loved it.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Was it a difficult one to choose what cover you're going to do?
Well, we talked about it for a bit, didn't we? Like, yeah. What was the other one we're going to do? We were thinking about doing a Sonic song, weren't we? Like,
Yeah.
we're going to do Have Love Will Travel. We're going to do that, but we started doing it and it just sounded the same as theirs. So there's no point doing it. Like, so I wanted to do something that obviously sounded different to like how it normally sounds, and I think we've managed to do that there. But yeah, I'm not sure we're doing a cover anytime soon though. Like, again.
No. What about this gig that you've got coming up? Would you slip it in there, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Next York one, I think we're going to do it there, like just once, and then never again. Like
Right.
mainly just because it's our home crowd, and you know they might want to. I say crowd, it's about like 20 people, but we love them all. But yeah, it's you know, so we'll probably do it then just in case anyone like missed it or whatever and didn't get to hear it, and also it's coming towards the end of the year, so it's like to sum up 2016.
Yeah.
We'll finish the set on that, I think, like as a little cheeky present for everyone.
Well, when is this gig, if people want to come along?
23rd of December, Fulford Arms. It's our last one in York for the year. And then we'll got more next year, but that's our last one this year.
Who else is on with you?
It's us, Magnificent Seven, Johnny Gill, and Arms and Hearts. It's one of our friend Craig Slaney's gigs. He puts them on now and again, and we're more than happy to play for him because he's been there for us in various bands over the years, helping us out with gigs. And in fact, the Francine's our old band. He actually booked the debut tour for that. So,
wow.
So yeah, he's done a lot for us. So whenever he says, "Do you want to do a gig?" we'll do it, no matter what band are in.
Yeah. You do a lot up there, though, don't you? Putting gigs on. You do Behind the White Door.
Yeah, both of us run that. Yeah, it's we go down there and a couple of nights a month and put stuff on. It depends really who's touring, doesn't it? Really, it's like
yeah. Well, it kind of started off as a way to bands that we meet out in other cities to kind of say, oh, come across to York, and then we'll get like 2 out of town bands on. It's like always a 4-band bill, isn't it? 2 out of town bands and 2 local bands. So it's kind of a way to get local bands on. And we kind of generally, sometimes it's a completely mixed lineup, but we normally have a general complementary theme between
rough
bands.
Theme between what's
and
going
to
on.
be honest, sometimes in other bands have met other bands and have done other swaps in other cities, so it's kind of
that's always nice when you see other bands like chatting to each other saying, oh, I really love that, like, and then it furthers their gig pool, you know, as they got more options to go play shows, and it's kind of like an ulterior motive for putting gigs on, like to get bands talking and meeting and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like the York music scene, it's something that's really important to the both of us, so you know, it's want to try and help it to develop as much as we can.
Do you not think apart from yourselves, and I know Joe Coates, there's not a lot of people actually putting good gigs on, do you think?
Yeah, well,
we can be honest, we're all friends here.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think when
really.
we started doing it a couple of years ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we did it, in a way, out of the fact that we didn't think there was anything else doing that. I mean, obviously, like say Joe Coates, he does slightly bigger gigs with paid entry. Ours
Joe Coates, not Jericho. That's Jericho.
I said Joe Coates.
Did you? Okay.
Did I?
Sorry.
Two great men.
I mean, but obviously ours are at the Fulford Arms, and so they're always free entry, but it's with a donations box. So then we encourage people to pay what they feel it's worth, really, and then obviously then we get to pay the out of town bands their petrol money or any of the costs.
We don't pay locals, but we do get them nicely drunk. So
yeah, free beer for all bands. So but then I mean, there are people that put on nights, but I think you kind of have to persevere with it, because like for the first 6 months, even the first year, there were a few clangers where like we were like, why is nobody here?
Yeah,
but we're like, no, just keep doing it, because we weren't losing anything from it. And then, to be honest, touch wood, every night so far this last year has been great.
Yeah,
like, and even
really
when
good.
at say 5 to 8, and we're meant to be opening at 8. And there's like one man in the corner with a pint who's going to go any minute now. We're like, oh god! And then everyone just comes in, and it's like, it's really. But
yeah,
great
I think there's us and Joe doing regular stuff. Like, you know, I've got like a lot of respect for Joe. He's done so much for the York scene. It's just ridiculous. You can't even put it into words how much he's done. But there are other little pockets of people putting stuff on,
like all dayers and like a lot of acoustic stuff. Like, I almost feel that's a separate thing itself, because that's kind of really vibrant, isn't it?
Yeah. Craig has a big acoustic scene going on. Like, he does a shush club nights called Shh, like Black Swan, I think it is, isn't it? He does it down there. But yeah, like there's a few people, like you say, putting regular stuff on, but not that many. Like, there's a lot of people who are doing, like, you know, like have a go promoters and just putting the odd gig on now and again, like, and they do a good job. But I kind of think, like, you know, do it regular, like, you know, it's like one night again, just stick with it and keep it going. Like, the more stuff that's going on in York, the better, in my opinion, because there's more choice for people. You know, if I like this sort of music, I can go there and watch it. If I like this sort, I can go there and watch it. That's what York needs, I think.
What other York bands do? If you could pick your top 5, and probably a difficult thing to do, but if you thought, right, they're the ones for me, they're absolutely amazing, sort of thing.
Do Avalanche Party count as a York band?
Yeah, well, if it suits them, it does, doesn't it? Sometimes.
Well, I think they're excellent, so we'll give them one of the slots. Yeah, they'll have one of the slots. Yeah.
Oh, Black Lagoons.
Black Lagoons. Easy peasy. Black Lagoons top 5 bands. Eugene Gorgeous as well. They probably make the list at the minute. They're doing really good. Like, last gig we had them on at with And Yet It Moves, they were just they're phenomenal, like really, really good.
Because they're all like relatively young. You can just see them like growing at each performance,
Yeah.
like just being more comfortable in the skin, and then just thinking, you're only, I don't know how old they are, but then,
yeah. Well, I think from Black Lagoon's Harry, I think he's like 14 or 15.
they're literally less than half our age.
And the beauty of that is like
talented.
those two bands in particular are this good now. Like, imagine how they're going to be in like a few years' time. Like, they're like the future of York's music scene, and they're already like doing incredible things. Like, it's like the band I was in at their age was awful. It's like the worst band you've ever heard. Like doing like Smells Like Teen Spirit and stuff like that. Did covers then. Don't do them now. But who else? So there's those three. Who else? There are two more for that list. Yeah. It's pretty tough, really, because like there's so many good bands in York. It's hard to sort of say. Like
I think Naked Six would come in that category. If you're that sort of thing.
Probably they make the list. Yeah,
for talent as
good.
well, and kind of originality.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. Hangnails aren't really a York band anymore.
Not anymore,
so
are
they can't really.
But we can put them in there.
Nest.
We can put them in there if you want. Because they're from here, right? So.
Yeah. They're pretty decent, I'd say. Yeah, and there's probably like a ton of bands that I've not mentioned. You know, there's loads of good stuff kicking around in York. Like, you just got to know like when it's going on and stuff like that. You know, like. It's quite tough to find it sometimes, but when you do, it's great.
It's good what you said about the Black Lagoons as well, because when they came in for a session, they'd only just started off and he was very shy.
Yeah.
So I'm at a gig and I thought, it's a bit, I knew he was young, I thought he was a bit shy. The second time I saw him, after a few gigs, I was captivated. I mean, he was all over the place.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're growing. I think that's good about York audience as well. They're encouraging to... They don't shun you, do they? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
think York audiences are always quite mixed as well, like quite a mixed age range.
If you go play somewhere like London or whatever, you've really got to work hard to win over the crowd. You've got to work really hard. Like, you know, you've got to be
very
faultless.
Much have like a no clap policy after the song. It's like someone goes like that and they're like, Northerner.
Right, I've got a very serious question to ask you now. This is where the journalism degree really comes in. Do you have a rummage in my bag of balls?
Yeah, I'll have a fiddle with your balls, Jericho.
Right, okay. In this bag, there's 30 balls. On this piece of paper, there's 30 questions. Each ball, sounds a question on the piece of paper. It's quick fire and it's rapid, okay?
Oh, God, I don't know if I've got the strength for that, but we'll give it a go.
You have, right. Naomi, what number's that, please?
Number 7.
Number 7. This question applies to both of you as well. Which band do you despise, which everyone seems to love? Doesn't have to be local, can be national, international, or it could be local. If you want to start some sort of Blur Oasis sort of war.
Wow, that's again, it's like full favourite band, worst band thing. It's really tough to decide.
Do you know what? I'm going to say something a bit controversial, even though you said you really like them. I don't get Sleaford Mods. There, I've said it. I don't get it.
That's all right.
I want to get it.
You want to get it, but you don't.
Yeah.
Do I do one as well?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, the same question.
Pink Floyd. It's got to be Pink Floyd.
Yeah, not for you.
Bloody awful.
Right.
It's just awful.
Right.
Like 70s awful rock. Yeah, it needs to go in the bin.
Number's that, please?
19.
Number 19. Favourite book?
Ah, okay. Completely unrelated to music, but...
Well, I quite flicking through it, like flicking through a Nice Cup of Tea and a Sit Down, which is based on the website of the same name that just reviews biscuits and cups of tea.
Are you both going with that one?
I'd like to say The Zombie Survival Guide by Melvin Burgess.
Right, okay.
That's pretty decent.
I don't read much.
No, we're not big readers.
Okay. Well, what number's that, please?
12.
Right, this is the last question from the bag of balls. Oh, it's a good one. If you could be in any other local band, which one would it be? And why?
These questions are pretty tough.
Well, these are the questions from the people on the street.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's give the people what they want. I'd like to be in Neuschlafen.
Okay.
Because they're insane. And I like insane music. And also, Jason's in Neuschlafen and I love Jason.
Well, that's a budding romance there, isn't there?
Oh, gosh.
Well, Naomi, if you had to jump ship.
I would probably want to... There's a little part of me, because obviously I started playing bass before drums, I like a nice bass riff, so maybe something scary. Just that, there's that little bit of me that just likes a nice scar beat. So
You want to be Max 7?
Well, I'd like to play alongside. I don't want to replace Taryn.
No. Yeah, Taryn's ace.
Just maybe just a little guest appearance, just to get the riffs just sharp again.
You know, like when Green Day have that extra member in the back,
hiding behind the curtain.
Or like the ninjas,
Maybe
like the hives, like the black
like double bass, like Taryn bass and your bass at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, Naomi, this is the programme where dreams can come true. We can make that happen for you. Emily, we'll get on it now, and we'll get you a guest appearance. I'm joking, of course I don't have that power.
Cheers, Scylla.
Cheers, lad. Right. Thank you very much for taking part in that ridiculousness. But now, more importantly, we'd like to take part of the tattooed arm feature. This is where, if you had to get one of your own lyrics tattooed on your arm, which one would it be and why? It can be one that you're most proud of, one that you listen back on record and just think, what was I thinking? Just something that you'd like, if I had the 70 quid that I could take you down and say, right.
70 quid? Where do
What
you
are
go?
gonna say, where you go?
70 quid for that!
70 quid?
For that!
Try this on for size. 150 quid, that pirate. 150 quid.
That's miles better than mine as well. We need to exchange who we go with, don't
I'll
we?
sort you out.
All right, mate. Right, what would you get? What lyric would you get tattooed on your arm if you had to have your own?
I'd definitely get the lyric that's on the back of your T-shirt that we gave you. Ripper, rattle, rock. Ready, steady, rock. Ripper, rattle, rock.
I thought you were going to go for something more obvious.
So yeah, my lyric would be ready, steady, rock. Ripper, rattle, rock. That'd be my lyric.
I thought you were going to go for let the devil in your soul, because you always harp on about it being about your beliefs and all that. So,
yeah, but I really like that lyric. That's why I thought it'd look good on the T-shirt. Cause
maybe we could do this dual one where like friendship necklaces where like we put our arms together and then it's like
all right, let's do that.
And then it's like I have ready, steady, rock, and then you have ripper, rattle, rock.
Yeah, that's what we've done. Yeah, so for the people who can't see what we've just done, we put our arms together, and on one arm we've got ready, steady, rock, and on the other one we've got ripper, rattle, rock.
I like that, you know. I like the idea. I expect to see you after Christmas with this tattoo. All right. If not, I wash my hands of you. I'm not interested in you anymore. I did see actually something similar to that, but worse. One woman got one side of a love heart, and the man got another side of a love heart, but from his shoulder down to his hip. It was in a newspaper that I'm not going to mention because I don't believe in what it does, but it was in there and it looked horrendous. I'll dig it out for you.
I know a similar story to that actually. There's a woman who had a bunny rabbit tattooed on her, and then a bloke had a carrot tattooed on him. So when they were hugging with no clothes on, the carrot and the rabbit went together.
Genius.
Yeah.
Utter genius.
If they ever split up, he's just wandering around with a carrot tattooed on him.
I think he gets the raw end of the deal there, don't you?
Hey, raw veg.
I didn't think of that. Oh, yes. Well, I think I'm out of questions. I think I'm out of witticisms. I think I've used all my best jokes. It's been a pleasure. It really has. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun.
On BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire. Snakerattlers, it's been an absolute pleasure. What song are you playing me now, by the way?
It's Ripper Rattle Rock.
On the tattooed arm feature, BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire. This is Snakerattlers.
Your love is a waste of time. You're no son of mine. Blown up like a doodle bug. My pieces in a xylophone. Running, sudden, a rock. A ripper, a rattle, a rock. Running, sudden, a rock. Ripper, a rattle, a rock. I love in the top of me. Can't get this song to die. More cares in the way you fall. More cares than a fiver dome. Running, sudden, a rock. Ripper, a rattle, a rock. Running, sudden, a rock. Ripper, a rattle, a rock. I love in the way you fall, more cares in the way you go. I don't look as God alone. I got this xylophone. Ready, set it, rock. Ripper, rattle, rock. Ready, set it, rock. Ripper, rattle, rock. Rattle, rock.
Now that was something special on BBC Introducing for York and North Yorkshire Snakerattlers. If you missed that, or you want to listen to it again, because why wouldn't you? It'll be available on the programme for the next 30 days after we clock out at 10 o'clock. If you head to bbc.co.uk/Radio York, be there ready and waiting for 30 days, as I said. And if you want to get in contact with me, Jericho.Keys at bbc.co.uk. at York Introducing on Twitter, or facebook.com/BBC Intro York. We'll post a picture on there of the Snake Rattlers with me wearing the t-shirt after we've played a few more tunes. Thank you very much as well to Dan and Naomi for coming in. Absolutely superb session.